aqui money. Nem people have think business. Money. Some people tell us that your business way. There's a quote by Einstein. It says, "There is no king who has not had a slave among their ancestors, and no slave who has not had a king among their children." So this basically means that your destiny is in your hands. What you choose to do with it is in the time period. You can either become a slave to the system or you can become a king. Now, a lot of people think power is always about who serves you, but it's actually taking brave steps to be able to be of service and to lead people in the direction where you feel desired. So oftentimes when we're looking at our lives and thinking, why are things working for me? The question is, what idea do you have that is going to work for others? What plan do you have that is going to feed the lives of others? What plan do you have that is not only just going to change your life, but the life of people around you? And the opportunities are always there, but are you going to take them? So my advice is tune in. Money FM has got a lot of the answers that you can help you. Never think money is something that you can just blow by quickly, because sometimes you might miss it and it might not come back, or it'll make you work harder. Money Evening News. Money Evening News.
In your financial indicators today, Tuesday 10th May 2022, the US dollar is buying at 16 kwacha 88 ngwe and selling at 17 kwacha 21 ngwe. The Great British Pound is buying at 20 kwacha 88 ngwe and selling at 21 kwacha 29 ngwe. The euro is buying at 17 kwacha 86 ngwe and selling at 18 kwacha 22 ngwe. The South African rand is buying at 1 kwacha 4 ngwe and selling at 1 kwacha 6 ngwe. Those are your financial indicators. The news headlines. Zambia Consumer Association urges government to consider consumers' capacity to pay proposed electricity connection fees.
Because as you increase these tariffs or service charges, you should also consider the consumers have that capacity to pay. If consumers have that capacity to pay, then you're just encouraging corruption.
Southern Africa Cross-Border Traders Association says kwacha stability for the last 3 weeks has a positive impact on businesses.
Probably also look at solutions on how much more of investment can be done locally, because what we need economically is to have so many of us Zambians getting into doing business. So that
Tanzania's export to Kenya grow to highest levels recorded since independence. Zambia under-16 national team coach declares team ready for UEFA International Developmental Tournament. Hello and welcome to the Money Evening News on Money FM. I am Best Jerry. Zambia Consumer Association has urged government to consider consumers' capacity to pay proposed electricity connection fees by ZESCO Limited to Energy Regulation Board (ERB). Association Executive Secretary Jua Sakala tells Money FM News that if consumers do not have the capacity to pay the proposed fees, the move is encouraging corruption, seeing that most people are in dire need of electricity as it is a necessity and not a luxury. Mr. Sakala notes that challenges of reported illegal connections and transformer overloads are as a result of unaffordable services to access electricity by customers. He has questioned what ZESCO is trying to achieve by proposing a 400% increase in service tariffs, a situation he says is not justifiable.
Consumer Association, what we're asking government through ERBs, what are they trying to achieve by putting a 400% to this? Are they trying to offload all the problems of the utility company to consumers? One or another is the problem. They are trying to make electricity a luxury instead of being a necessity. Because as you increase these tariffs or service charges, you should also consider do the consumers have that capacity to pay? If consumers have no capacity to pay, then you're just encouraging corruption because people need electricity as a necessity. Now, if it's expensive, they'll find means and ways of having it. That's why you have all these challenges of legal connections, transformer being overloaded, because the service fees are so expensive, people cannot afford them. So they'll find means and ways of having electricity, which is unfortunate.
And Mr. Sakala has stressed the need to consider the green economy by providing affordable power connection fees that will not divert people to using more of charcoal.
People to divert start using charcoal. That's not the case. There are other means that we can do. Let's put fees that are competitive, fees that will be affordable by consumers, and make ZESCO afford. We know ZESCO has so many challenges, but we don't want to see ZESCO close. But what we want is let us have competitive fees which will make people pay and make the company afloat, not service charges or fees that will make people unable to pay and think the other way around about the fees. I don't think that's fair. So we need them to come up with competitive fees. We know the increment is necessity, but let's try to have competitive service fees.
Energy Regulation Board (ERB) has received an application form. I beg your pardon. Energy Regulation Board (ERB) has received an application from ZESCO Limited to revise upwards connection fees for standard connections. In its application, ZESCO states that it has had challenges to promptly connect new applications for electricity, resulting in a backlog in new connections of 67,000 as at 31st December 2021. Civil society organizations CSO Debt Alliance says the conclusion of a joint debt sustainability analysis for Zambia as conducted by International Monetary Fund and the World Bank is a significant introduction to the debt restructuring process that will, in a broad sense, pave way for rebuilding the economy which Zambia desperately needs to embark on. Alliance chairperson Father Alex Miebe says International Monetary Fund, the World Bank and government must consider a swift publication of the recently concluded debt sustainability analysis, as this is key in informing policy discourse on the estimated extent of the problem and the prescription of the needed relief, not only among creditors but the general citizenry. Further, Miele states that it is imperative that government doubles its effort aimed at consolidating all the support the debt restructuring requires from all key stakeholders. He says it is evidently clear that China, which has lent heavily to African resource exporters, including Zambia in recent decades, will play a key role in the debt overhaul, with Zambia owing more than $6 billion or 40% of its total publicly guaranteed and non-guaranteed external debt to Chinese lenders.
In the restructuring of Zambia's debt.
We take a short break. We'll be back. Stay tuned.
MyFMZambia.com to watch, stream, and download various programs from anywhere in the world.
Southern Africa Cross-Border Traders Association says the stability of the kwacha for the last 3 weeks has a positive impact on businesses. Association Secretary General Jacob Makambwe tells Money FM News that this provides business sense for traders to plan their business finances in a manner that does not distract the budget. Mr. Makambwe has since urged government to carry on with the strategies that it is using to stabilize the local currency and ensure that it is not impacted much by internal factors.
That is needed in order for our currency to be more balanced so that we can actually also report the economic gains. We are also looking at the way the inflation rate has actually been performing. We're seeing it has actually gone downward up to about maybe 13%, and we are hoping that if this actually gets down to normal levels or even to single digits, we actually looking forward to the stability of certain things that are going to happen, and this should actually have a ripple effect on commodity pricing and the general living of the citizens.
The Zambian kwacha has continued to strengthen against the United States dollar due to lesser demand for the greenback on the interbank market. This is Money Evening News at 17:30. Anti-Corruption Commission ACC says it has noted with concern that in the recent past, a number of cases have been received from both Mpika and Lusaka checkpoints in which transporters use fake export permits to export soybeans to Tanzania and offer bribes to officers so that they could be allowed to pass. In a statement, ACC Chief Corporate Affairs Officer Timothy Mono has since urged all exporters to desist from corruption and follow the law and obtain correct export permits, as the Commission will follow up all the cases reported and ensure that all those found wanting face the law. Mr. Mono has commended Zambian National Service readiness officers manning the said checkpoints for resisting and exposing the corruption after disclosing that the Commission in Kasama has arrested Daniel Simakala, a clearing agent for corrupt practices with public officers. He explains that Mr. Simakala, 34 of Itala Compound in Mukushi, has been charged with 1 count of corrupt practices with public officers contrary to Section 19(2) of the Anti-Corruption Act No. 3 of 2012, Cap 91 of the laws of Zambia. Mr. Mono narrates that in April 2022, Mr. Simakala corruptly gave 3,000 kwacha to ZNS officers manning the checkpoint at Mpika as an inducement or reward for the said officers to release the 2 trucks that were impounded by the officers for using invalid export permits to export soybeans to Tanzania. He says Mr. Simakala has been released on bond and will appear in court soon. Southern Africa Development Community (SADC) and World Food Programme (WFP) have expressed urgent need for a regional strategy that will guarantee farmers access to fertilizer. SADC Executive Secretary Elias Magosi and World Food Programme Regional Director Southern Africa Dr. Mengestab Haile are of the view that fertilizer is likely to be affected by the developments in Russia and Ukraine. They explain that this will consequently affect crop production and food security for SADC member states. According to SADC, this development came when the two met to strategize on ensuring food security in Southern Africa as the next crop growing season approaches. Still to come is international and sports news. Stay tuned.
National news. Money International News.
Welcome back. You are still listening to Money Evening News, and now international news. Kenya's imports from Tanzania nearly doubled from 242.6 million United States dollars in 2020 to 473.9 million United States dollars in 2021. The exchange reports that the improved relationship between Kenya and Tanzania seems to be bearing fruits if the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics (KNBS) data is anything to go by. In its Economic Survey 2022, the Statistics Office indicates that Tanzania's exports to Kenya doubled in just 10 months, the highest figure recorded since independence. According to the survey, Kenya's imports from Tanzania nearly doubled from 242.6 million United States dollars in 2020 to 473.9 million United States dollars in 2021. For more such stories, join us for Africa Business Report at 0845 weekdays. Morrisons has triumphed in the battle to gain control of McCall's Retail Group, one of Britain's biggest convenience store chains, after a last-gasp offer to buy out its syndicate of bank lenders. Sky News reveals that the supermarket giant saw off 11th hour competition from EG Group, the petrol station operator, with an offer that will see McCall's stores and workforce preserved in their entirety. The deal will be structured as a pre-pack administration, meaning Morrisons will buy McCall's immediately after it enters insolvency proceedings overseen by Price House Coopers PwC. For more of such stories, join us for Global Business Report at 1750 weekdays. This is the Money Evening News at 1730. And in sports news, Zambia under-16 national team coach Aaron Kawangu says the boys are ready to make the country proud at this week's UEFA Under-16 International Development Tournament in Georgia. According to Faz Media, Kawangu is confident that the team formed after the nationwide talent selection process will put in their best. Kawangu says the Georgia tournament is needed for football development and believes that the majority of players that are traveling for the first time are ready to put in their best during the tournament. Hosts Georgia, Zambia, Azerbaijan, and Saudi Arabia are the four countries taking part in the tournament that will run from 11th to 17th May at the GA Football Academy in Rostavi. Nigeria Football Federation (NFF) has less than 45 days to pay Wow Super Eagles coach Genot Roha a compensation fee of 378,000 United States dollars, or they risk incurring additional fines. This follows the ruling by the World Football Governing Body (FIFA) in the arbitration between the Franco-German coach and the Nigeria Football Federation. A fortnight ago, Premium Times reported that FIFA had concluded its findings and would deliver its verdict on the $1 million claims being made by Roha from the Nigerian Football Federation. The federation had offered to pay Roha his salary till the end of his initially agreed contract, which was to run till December 2022, after sacking him just before the AFCON tournament in Cameroon. But the 68-year-old felt unjustly sacked, having met all the terms in his contract, and thus approached FIFA for a hefty compensation from the Nigerian Football Federation. As we end the news, we look at the headlines once again. Zambia Consumer Association urges government to consider consumers' capacity to pay proposed electricity connection fees. Southern Africa Cross-Border Traders Association says kwacha stability for the last 3 weeks has positive impact on businesses. Tanzania's exports to Kenya grow to highest levels recorded since independence. Zambia under-16 national team coach declares team ready for UEFA International Developmental Tournament. For these stories and more, be sure to visit our website on www.moneyfmzambia.com. Follow us on Facebook, Money FM Zambia, on Twitter and Instagram, Money FM Zambia. You can also download our Money FM app from App Store and Google Play Store. And for marketing, contact us on +26096786540 or 0211252237. Thank you for listening to Money Evening News. I am Best Jerry. Good evening. This is Money FM.
Global Business Report. Get global, go global now on Global Business on Money FM, your business radio. Global Business Report. Get global, go global now on Global Business on Money FM, your business radio. Global Business Report. Get global, go global now on Global Business on Money FM, your business radio. Global Business Report. Get global, go global now on Global Business on Money FM, your business radio.
Pfizer to buy migraine drug maker Biohaven in $11.6 billion United States dollar deal. Oil tumbles on global economic worries. Japan to decide Russia oil embargo timing based on economy.
Global now on Global Business on Money FM, your business radio.
It is 17:53 Central African Time, and a warm welcome to Global Business Report Tuesday edition with me, Best Jerry. Pfizer Incorporated says it will buy migraine drug maker Biohaven Pharmaceutical Holding Company Limited for about $11.6 billion United States dollars in cash, as the drug maker seeks to beef up its portfolio ahead of patent losses for some cancer drugs. Reuters reports through the deal, Pfizer will gain access to Biohaven's approved drug Remegpant that belongs to a class of migraine drugs known as calcitonin generated peptide CCRP inhibitors. Pfizer built a cash cow on the back of success with its COVID-19 vaccine and oral drug Paxlovid, with some investors expecting it to spend on deals as it faces the loss of patent protection for key drugs in the next few years. Boeing is moving its headquarters from Chicago to a suburb of Washington, D.C., but some analysts think this move is one in the wrong direction. CNN reports Boeing was based in Seattle from its foundation in 1916 to 2001. During its heyday, it was renowned as an engineering-driven company that made the best, safest planes. But many industry watchers feel that reputation is lost as Boeing shifts to focus on the bottom line, and they point to its 2001 decision to move headquarters from Seattle to Chicago as a stark sign of that ill-advised shift. The company's announcement that it will move once again to Arlington, Virginia, only gives critics more fuel. By moving into the shadow of both the Pentagon and Congress, Boeing seems to be signaling it has lost the commercial race to Airbus and wants to be seen as primarily a defense and space contractor. Oil prices have tumbled more than 1%, extending the previous day's steep declines as coronavirus lockdowns in top oil importer China, a strong dollar and growing recession risks fed worries about the outlook for global demand. CNBC reports Brent crude fell 1.83% or 1.7% to $104.11 per barrel after slipping to as low as $103.19. United States West Texas Intermediate crude has fallen $1.66 or 1.6% to $101.43 a barrel after hitting an intraday low of $100.44. On Monday, both benchmarks posted their biggest daily percentage fall since March, dropping by 5% to 6% since March. We take a break. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned.
Global Business Report. Get global, go global now on Global Business of Money FM, your business radio.
Welcome back. Japan will decide the timing and method of the Russian oil embargo while considering the possible economic effects, its industry minister says after Tokyo agreed on a ban with other group of 7 nations over Moscow's invasion of Ukraine. Al Jazeera reports Prime Minister Fumio Kishida on Monday said Japan will phase out Russian oil imports. Hagiyuda said Japan cannot immediately stop importing oil from Russia but will gradually move away from dependency on Russian energy while ensuring access to alternative supplies. Boris Johnson has promised to grow and strengthen the economy and help ease the cost of living for families through new measures in the Queen's speech. Sky News reports the address, which outlines the government's legislative agenda for the year ahead, focus heavily on the economy as the Prime Minister aims to get the country back on track after the COVID pandemic while simultaneously addressing growing cost of living challenges. But Mr. Johnson warns the government cannot completely shield people from spiraling costs, with inflation set to hit a 40-year high later in 2022 and no immediate extra help for households was announced. Thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to join us on Wednesday for another Global Business Report. This has been Best Jerry. Stay tuned.
Global Business Report. Get global, go global now on Global Business of Money FM, your business radio.
Money 93.7 FM, your business radio.
There's a quote by Hamilton. It says, "There is no thief who is not a slave of their master." So this basically means that your destiny